So here we are, it's race 1 MX2 on Sunday morning. It started raining at about 3:15 a.m. in the morning. It hasn't stopped since. The track is like a scene from the Somme at the moment. It is very sloppy out there. Rattray on pole, he's going to need that if he wants to get a good start. Further down, you're Gautier Paulain there, number 11 on the 11th part of the grid. Eric Eggins alongside him. Eric, of course, third on the podium at the first Grand Prix in Valkenswaard. Gate drops, here we go then. Look at this, it's a swimming pool. Are they all going to get through it? That's the big question. And I tend to say, no, they're probably not. No, I was dead right. Where's my bike, he says. It's there somewhere. He's probably sunk. Very, very tough conditions, but it's Rattray, number 4, that seems to have got the drop on the rest. Caroli is in there, and we've got carnage further back as they're all falling over each other. Well, not good. You can't see anything. You really don't know where you're going. That looks like number 13 there. That would be Manuel Moni. But Rattray, look at the depth of those puddles. It really is tough for these guys. Wait till they get to the uphill sections. It's going to be impossible. But Rattray, and that looks like number 26 or 25, Marvin Muscar. Yeah, it is Marvin Muscar on the NGS team. He's in 3rd position now. So I said about those hills, this is like a dose of Western Beach race in the middle of winter. The only time I've seen conditions as bad as this was around 2000 at Fox Hills in England when the Grand Prix was finally cancelled. 39 then, David Guarneri, the Italian, on the Ricci Racing Yamaha. And that is Stephen Sword, number 7. Well, Swordy back after that injury to his right ankle after crashing in MX-1 in Germany a year or so back. It's good to see Stephen back. It's good to see him racing on the Molson Kawasaki. Well, Stephen, coming from England, will be able to cope with these conditions. There's no doubt about it. Out of the Golden Tyres corner at the top, because Golden Tyres are one of our major sponsors this year, as they were last year. 15 riders now in the Grand Prix running with the Golden Tyres, so we're hoping to get more in the future. Under the Red Bull Bridge, past the Polysport, and up that hill they go, and it's all about, you've got to get the drive, and look, these guys are even jumping that second part, which is pretty good in these kind of conditions, I can tell you. Tyler Rattray leads. It's all about who's going to finish second. Tony Crowley's out there somewhere. There is Tyler with a very clean front plate, but even the South African finding it difficult in these conditions. That's that hill. That's very, very difficult. It's difficult to get up there even when it's dry. Muscar and Caroli. So Tony there, you can just about recognise him, and it is a case of spot the rider and take your pick really at the moment. But these conditions are really, really treacherous. It's still raining very heavily here. It's going to get worse, not better, before the day is done, I can assure you. And it is a question of survival. It does look indeed like a scene from the Somme. As an old American journalist once used to say, soon we'll see a German stick his head up from a rut. There's Caroli. You could just about make that plate out, that 222 on the front. But look at that neck brace that he wears with that little piece down the back. That's the best way to pick out Tony. One of the very few riders that seems to use that style of neck brace. That's Tyler Rattray down the hill, number 4, just recognisable. Red Bull KTM, of course. He's on course to take win number 1 from the second Grand Prix of the FIM World Motocross Championship MX2 class, and he's done all he needed to do, which was get the bike out front and keep it honest, keep it on its wheels. Here he comes. He'll be happy with that result. Checkered flag number 1 for MX2. Rattray wins, and pleased about that result. I should think he is. Probably looking forward to getting a nice hot shower. Caroli came home in second with David Guarneri third. Stephen Sword, a good credible fourth. Then Moni, Orbin, Marvin Muscar, and then young Sean Simpson on the KTM. Tommy Searle, bad result for him with Xavier Borg, Frossard. Further down, Carl Nunn scoring points. Lupino and Joel Rowlands. Remember Rowlands, the star of Valkenswaard in race 2 when he led for some time. But it was Tyler Rattray who did the business. And here we go. Start list for MX2 race 2. Tyler Rattray, winner of race 1. The rain has not really eased up here. It's still pretty heavy, so the track has worsened since race 1 for the MX2 guys. Race 2 here is going to be a real toughie. Gates dropped. Here we go then. Just look at that water. That looks like Tommy Searle that's got a pretty good start, and someone's gone down, and that looked like Tommy Searle that went down. Well, he had a tremendous start. There he is. That, believe it or not, probably is Tommy Searle. If a little wet and muddy, but he got a great start and then just lost it going into the corner. Looks like David Guarneri's got a good start as well. Somebody else going down in the mud. But look, it is really a sight that you've not seen before in World MX. It's all about survival out there and just keeping the thing going, trying to find some sort of line where you can get some grip with the tyre. That, I think, is Stephen Sword. It is Stephen Sword. So 4th in race 1. This is looking good. Has he got the lead? Oh, someone's got it all wrong there. And, well, I'm not sure who that is. Oh, Swordy's got it wrong as well. Swordy led for a while, but has lost it on the uphill section. I think we just caught a glimpse of Tyler Rattray there as well. That's 31. Well, if that's the case, I've really got to look hard here, because it is David Guarneri was there, so was Manuel Moni. Well, he's just about decided to bury that bike. That it really is a scene that brings back reminiscent scenes from the Western Beach race. Tony Caroli down in 10th. But he's got, just look at that neck brace he wears. He has the bit that flaps down the back of his shirt. That's how you can just about recognise Tony here today. Oh, it's just about lining it up for the hill. Can you get up the hill? If you can't, you're in trouble. Oh, someone's stranded. No, is that a marshal or is that a bike? That's Tony Caroli stranded at the bottom of the hill. No grip, he just can't find any drive. The Suzuki rider cuts across his path. No good. You're going to have to come back, Tony, and find somewhere where you can get a wheel or grip. Well, as I said, it's total survival time out there. David Guarneri seems to be having a pretty good ride. So does Manuel Moni, and so does Gautier Parlane. He's in there as well. Rui Gonçalves, Joel Rollins, and Angelo Pellegrini. Stephen Sword was leading this race, but has dropped back a bit now after being stuck on that hill. Okay, just line it up, boys, and let's go for it. No, the marshal says you're not going that way, my friend. You'll have to go the other way. You've never seen motocross like this, have you? This is the first time since I can remember Fox Hills, around about, I think it was 2000, 2001, where we cancelled the whole Grand Prix after the Saturday, the 125 race. Oh, and he almost made it. Good try. Now, all he's got to do is try and keep his feet and get his bike back. Can I have my bike back, please, sir? That one up there, that's mine. Oh, here's someone that's decided the best way to sit this race out is to sit this race out. Sit in the mud and just give it up. Well, it is a lottery. Is that Caroli again? I think that is Tony Caroli, judging by the neck brace, looking for a way up the outside. Here he goes. Has he found a way? Elbows down. Oh, look at that. He had a clear run to the top until that, poor unfortunate, slid back down. Can I have your hat, please, just to wipe my gloves with? Thank you very much. What gloves? I don't have any on anymore. Red flag has gone out 2 laps to the end. The red flag stops the race, and the result will stand. Well, it was just attrition. It was David Guarneri then at the end, 39, on the Ritchie Racing Yamaha that brought it home safely. Manuel Moni behind him from Pauline, Gonçalves, Rollins, Pellegrini, Sword, and Searle. Well, with that result, Swordy should be on the podium. Searle picked it up after that crash at the start to finish there in 8th. Van Horebeek, Bobryshev, Caroli finished only 11th. Borg, Krestanov, Simpson, Aubin, Oranda. On Nicholas Orban qualifying by LCQ after crashing in the opening, but that looks like Tony Caroli there. Indeed it is. Guarneri wins it with 45 points from Moni and Sword. Swordy on the podium, Caroli jointly with him with 32 points. Rattray only 5th, Searle and Rollins and Pauline. That means Rattray will still retain the red plate. Orbin, Bobryshev, Borg, Simpson, Gonçalves, Muscar and Taru and Pellegrini. So there it is. Still a very wet podium. But David Guarneri, that's a while since he's been up there. And his first one this year. Maybe it won't be his last one. But you have to say, the lad did what he needed to do, which was kept himself honest, kept his wheels upright, kept the bike up moving, picked good lines. This lad should be an enduro rider in the future. He did well, I think. He did very well. Yes, indeed, riding with a slightly damaged collarbone, but Rattray still holds the lead in the championship, only by 3 points over Caroli. Guarneri moves up to 3rd, with Searle dropping to 4th. Gonçalves, Moni, Simpson and Orbin there at the top 8. Stephen Sword moves up to 9th, 1 point in front of Xavier Borg. Joel Rollins, Eric Eggins had a pretty awful day here, I can tell you that now. KTM on top, with 93 points with Yamaha chasing. Then Suzuki, Kawasaki and Honda all squabbling over that third place. But David Guarneri was the boy who kept it upright and honest in the mud here in Spain. So here we go then, MX-1 race 1, and actually started this, Mr. Porcel with his supporters on pole from Nagel, Ramon de Dijker, of course, the red plate holder from the previous round. Julian Bill running a live onboard camera, but not so sure whether we'll actually see any pictures from that particular camera because it's wet out there. Gauge drop, here we go. Deruva up the inside. Is he going to make that stick? Well, a few of them going down, and de Dijker's caught in amongst that one. There he is, number 9 on the Suzuki. That's not a good start, and that is Pfennig also. Not quite sure who the other rider was. It could have been either Nagel or even Barragan, because there's a Red Bull outfit he had on, Red Bull helmet. No, there's Barragan, so it could well have been the other rider, Nagel. But Jonathan Barragan in front of his home crowd here. What better start for the Catalanian rider? All he needs to do is keep it going. The AXO Silver KTM rider. Get it up those hills, these bigger bikes, but that looks like Steve Ramon in second place. Oh, that was so nearly over the top. That is Ramon there in second. There's Tony Caroli on the TM. We obviously spoke to him earlier, along with his two dogs, Rhino Hughes and Tyler. For those who don't remember Rhino Hughes, Ryan Hughes was raced back in about 99-2000 in the UK, along with Gordon Crockart, with the Palmo Honda racing team. That looks to me like Josh Coppins. Indeed it is Coppins, number 6. He needs to do some winning here. It's Coppins now in front. Barragan, no, that's the fight for second place now, so that means Ramon has gone into the lead. That's somebody on the floor. It's a Yamaha. There's Coppins. It's just a question of survival. Get up that hill. No, here's Coppins. He's looking up the hill to pick a line. Hope he picks the right one. Up the inside, it wasn't the right one, Josh. He's now bogged himself down. So it's a chance there for Coppins to score some good points here. And there is the man that fell at the start, number 9, Ken de Dijker, the big tall Belgian. Oh, and Barragan's out. The bike, he's pushing the start button for the electric start. It doesn't want to go. There's water got into those electrics somewhere, and Barragan's out of this. But de Dijker having a great ride. Climbing through the field, Billy McKenzie. Oh, that was almost a McKenzie mistake. He's trying to bump the bike up again as he got it started. Tano Leok there, the Estonian. No, that is actually Steve Ramon. Tano Leok back in 5th place. That is definitely Steve Ramon. You can recognise that very upright style of his. And he's looking very good. The rain pouring down here. The conditions just worsening by the moment. Steve Ramon on the Tekka Suzuki looking very much the champion at the moment. Taking the plate from Josh Coppins last year after that crash that Coppins had in Lockett. Ken de Dijker up to 3rd. What a great ride from the big guy. He'll still, I think, retain the red plate at the moment, depending on what happens in race 2. But with these conditions, and they are worsening by the moment, I am a little bit of question mark on that. Very, very heavy water, big water puddle, especially down that start and finish straight. And those hills proving to be even more difficult. Ramona, now Philipparts. Well, both in trouble on the start, and Philipparts picking it up again. So the Italian Josh Coppins, his teammate, trying to put something together here. That will be 22 points. Ramon really is the mud meister, I should say. Look, he's so very steady, just finding the right line, almost being able to double that uphill. The Belgium, the world champion in the MX-1 class from last year, took up the crown, said after Coppins received that injury in Lockett. But it is Steve Ramon that will bring home the Suzuki and take the 25 points from Moto 1 here in a very wet and difficult round 2 of the FIM World Motocross Championship. Checkered flag goes out to Steve Ramon, and he celebrates, and so he should. That was quite an achievement. Ramon, Philip Parts, Didika, Coppins finally finished fourth from Leon. Strivers, Tom Church there in the 7th, and Mackenzie, the two Brits finishing 8th. Sully, Freeberg, Salvini, Nemitz, Chiodi, a good 13th on the TM. James Noble making a return to racing, a 14th with Preem and Rene propping up the top 16.
Nature is always stronger. Decisions were taken by the event management, an absolutely right decision, because finally the conditions on the circuit were not that good, to phrase it in a way, and safety of riders is always our #1 issue. And there was an issue with the starting straight, a bit too much water, and I have full understanding for that, that the riders were concerned about racing. So the event management took an absolutely right decision. We couldn't go on with it, but this is it. It's not a drama. One event has been cancelled. We're looking forward to another big, great part of the season. So this is one heat that was not on. Anyway, next weekend will be sunshine, and we go for that.
So with the decision to cancel the second race from MX-1, the event came to a sticky end, as they say. But next week it's Portugal. Hopefully the sunshine will shine. Steve Ramon on the top of the podium with Ken Didika there and David Philipparts beside him. The result from race 1 stood as the overall result. So Steve Ramon on top with Philipparts, Didika, Coppins, Leox, Strivers, Church and Mackenzie. They're all scoring good points. The top 8, 2 Brits, 7th and 8th. Not so bad. For our boys, that is. DeSalle, Freebergs, Salvini, Nemitz, Chiodi, Noble, Preem and Rene, James Noble. 7 points, back to Grand Prix. Good to see him back, the man from Whitby. Didika still has the red plate, 70 points. Ramon closes in with Philipparts chasing. Coppin still there with Mackenzie right behind him, Nargos drivers. And Preem on the Kawasaki. Nemitz, Leoc, DeSalle, Barragan with a disaster race. Church in the points with Leoc, Freebergs and Schiffer, the German, in pursuit. Top 16. Suzuki still on top with Yamaha right behind and KTM catching up. Honda still there with Kawasaki on their heels. But it was the day of Steve Ramon.